Commissioner Parnas, can you hear us?
If not, I can do a voiceover.
Oh, try to unmute again.
Again. Ta-da!
There you go. You can hear me?
Okay, fine. What happened to my picture? Oh, there I am. Okay.
Commissioner, can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay, perfect. I'm gonna mute you until the meeting starts at 7, okay?
that's whatever you want to do. How can I make these pictures bigger? It's only taking up a third of my screen.
I'll have IT call you.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
No, he's away. We're not here in her taking a break.
You said she's seven. I'm here.
Todd, can you hear me? Okay, because I can't hear you. Say something.
Say something.
There you go. Thank you.
Ready? We ready?
Hi, Mike.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to call to order the regular city commission meeting for April 2nd, 2024 at 7:02 PM. We have roll call, please.
Commissioner Hudak,
Here.
Commissioner Parnes,
Here,
Commissioner Preston,
Here.
Vice Mayor Drosky,
Here.
Mayor Gans.
Here. Will you please stand for a moment of silence and our pledge of allegiance? And during our moment of silence, if you please remember a longtime city employee and former Parks and Rec Director, Hugh Anderson, 27-year city employee who passed away recently. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States
United States
of
of America,
America,
to the republic for which it stands,
one
one
nation,
nation,
under
under
God,
God.
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If we could have approval of the city commission meeting minutes for March 19th, 2024.
Motion to approve.
Second,
Motion by Commissioner Hudak, seconded by Commissioner Parnes. All in favor, say aye.
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 Those opposed? Acknowledgement of our city board meeting minutes for our code compliance meeting minutes of January 26th and February 13th, 2024. Our African American Heritage Committee meeting minutes of February 7th, 2024. Education Advisory Board meeting minutes of February 7th, 2024. Community Redevelopment Agency meeting minutes of February 13th, 2024, and our Community Appearance Board meeting minutes of February 28th, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Parnas, second by Commissioner Hudak. All in favor, say aye.
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 Those opposed? The approval of our agenda for tonight on April 2nd, 2024.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion from Commissioner Preston, seconded by Commissioner Hudak. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? All right, Madam Clerk.
For those attending via Zoom online, wishing to speak under public comment or on an item that's open for public input, please click raise hand at the bottom under the reactions tab, and your audio will be unmuted when you're recognized by Mayor Gans. For those attending via Zoom by telephone, please press *9 to raise your hand, and your audio will be unmuted when you are recognized by Mayor Gans. Please make sure your audio is unmuted on your end by pressing *6. Thank you.
Thank you. Our first item tonight is a proclamation presented to the Children's Services Council of Broward County in recognition of National Child Abuse Prevention Month. Is Nicholas Hessing here? Mr. Hessing? The Children's Services Council of Broward County is an independent taxing authority that was established by voter referendum back in 2000. It was reauthorized again in 2014. Its mission is to provide leadership, advocacy, and resources necessary to enhance the lives of the children of Broward County and to empower them to become responsible, productive adults through collaborative planning and funding of a quantitative quality care. The CSC funds over 100 programs that serve children's and families, advocates for policies that protect the interests of future generations, provides leadership that brings the child-serving community together. The CSC asks communities to work together to help keep children safe by supporting the fight to end abuse and neglect. Now, therefore, I, Bill Gans, the mayor of the city of Deerfield Beach, Florida, in recognition thereof, do hereby proclaim April 24th as Child Abuse Prevention Month. Mr. Hessing? One, two, one more. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you to Mayor Gans, the commission, to the city of Deerfield Beach for this proclamation recognizing Child Abuse Prevention Month. At the CSC, our goal is to help every child reach their full potential, but that is impossible unless they're raised in safe and nurturing communities. And so cities like yourself, joining municipalities across Broward County, recognizing this important month, supporting and promoting programming that we fund to help further children's benefits, helps move the needle in that direction. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Next, we have a proclamation presented to the Climate Reality Project in recognition of Food Waste Prevention Week. Up to 35% of all food produced is thrown away rather than eaten. When the safe and nutritious food could be used to feed the hungry. Municipalities have a special role in educating community members to reduce, recover, and recycle food. The city of Deerfield Beach has the opportunity to save shared resources like land, water, and energy used to produce and transport food that ultimately goes uneaten. Food in landfills decomposes slowly, releases methane gas, and which is 28 times more potent than carbon dioxide and a major contributor to climate change. The city of Deerfield Beach encourages all residents of our community and communities across the country to commit to taking steps to reduce food waste in their homes, workplaces, and communities during Food Waste Prevention Week and throughout the year. Now, therefore, I, Bill Gans, the mayor of the city of Deerfield Beach, Florida, do hereby proclaim April 1st through the 7th, 2024 as Food Waste Prevention Week. And tonight we have our teammates from Climate Reality Project, Denise McFall, Jody Benson, and her team. If you guys like to come up and accept this, thank you.
Bring the filthy organics, the compost. I don't.
I'm taking the pictures.
Yeah, you commented on most of the things I would, but I think the important thing here is just to understand why reducing food waste is so important. And reducing food waste is the #1 personal action each of us can take to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. I don't think we all realize how much goes into the production, transportation, and handling of food, as it generates significant carbon dioxide emissions. And when the food is not used and wasted, it often ends up in the landfill. And I think in Broward County, we are really starting to understand how massive of a problem that is. The amount of food is not trivial. It accounts for a huge amount of materials sent to the landfills. And once in the landfills, the food decomposes, releasing methane, a potent greenhouse gas, and a major contributor to climate change. Methane is 28 times as potent as carbon dioxide at trapping heat in the atmosphere. And landfills are responsible for about 20% of US methane emissions. So if we reduce food waste, we could save the environment from this damage. We also know that reducing food waste also saves money, especially in this time of high food prices. And reducing food waste can also help low-income households through programs that distribute good food that would be thrown away. So briefly, how can we reduce food waste? Don't buy more than you can use. Freeze food if you don't use it so it doesn't spoil. Eat leftovers. And if we do end up with extra food on the back end, let's keep it out of the landfill by composting it instead of throwing it in the trash. Deerfield Beach is leading the way as it has a pilot composting program. You can learn more about it on the Deerfield Beach website. And Dr. Jody Berman, who's with us tonight, is participating in that composting program. Please also go to the Food Waste Prevention Week site. There's some really good educational materials that I hope you will share with the citizens of Deerfield Beach. Thank you again so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
And thank you to Filthy Organics, our partners in our composting program. We have another proclamation, our proclamation to honor National Fair Housing Month for 2024. Title VII of the Civil Rights Act 1968, better known as the Fair Housing Act, is a federal law that bans housing discrimination in renting, mortgage lending, applying for housing assistance, and other housing-related activities. The Department of Justice filed suits against real estate professionals found violating the act in one of the most significant housing laws in the history of the United States. The Fair Housing Act will serve as a powerful statement about who we are as people, the values of equality, equity, and dignity that we'll strive to uphold, and the places where we all have work so we can fulfill our commitment as a city. Over 56 years, the law has made a world of difference in the lives of countless families and communities. The city of Deerfield Beach is committed to our communities to ensure that adequate housing is a right for all people. Now, therefore, I, Bill Gans, the mayor of the city of Deerfield Beach, Florida, in recognition thereof, do hereby proclaim April 2024 as National Fair Housing Month. Do we have Charmaine Williams here? We'll make sure we give this to Jonathan Salas in appreciation. So thank you very much. And our last proclamation is in honor of National Community Development Week. National Community Development Week was created in 1986 by the National Community Development Association, the NCDA, and elected official groups to bring national attention to the Community Block Grant, CDBG, and the Home Investment Partnership home programs through grassroots support at a time when the program was facing scrutiny by Congress. The week-long event highlights the importance of the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, that's HUD, CDBG, and home programs to building stronger, resilient, and vibrant communities across America through community engagement and education. The CDBG program has significantly impacted our community by offering homeowner rehabilitation and first-time home buyer assistance programs, public improvements, economic development and recreational activities, and water and sewer drainage improvement projects. National Community Development Week provides a perfect opportunity to cement the importance of CDBG and home in the minds of those in Washington to increase program funding for the upcoming fiscal year of 2025 through HUD appropriations. The city of Deerfield Beach encourages all citizens, city government officials, and employees to participate in events recognizing and celebrating National Community Development Week. Now therefore, I, Bill Gans, Mayor of the city of Deerfield Beach, Florida, in recognition thereof, do hereby proclaim April 1st through the 5th, 2024 as National Community Development Week. Mr. Salas, we'll make sure we get this to you at the end. Thank you very much.
Okay, item number 5 on tonight's agenda is an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Deerfield Beach, Florida, vacating and abandoning a portion of a 20-foot utility easement and a 30-foot wide road right-of-way located in the vicinity of 409, 412 through 418, 424, 430, 446, 450, and 458 North River Drive, Vista Clara, providing for conflict, severability, and effective date, and this is second reading.
Okay. City Manager.
Again, as second reading, we don't have a presentation on this item, but this is, this came up through title search, and so the abandonment of this is required for the applicant to proceed.
Okay, is there anyone from the public that would care to comment on this item? Not seeing anyone online? I'm going to close it to the public then.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Hudak, seconded by Commissioner Parnas. We have roll call, please.
Commissioner Hudak?
Yes.
Commissioner Parnas?
Yes.
Commissioner Preston?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Drosky?
Yes.
Mayor Gans?
Yes.
Item number 6 is an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Deerfield Beach, Florida, amending Article 1 in general of Chapter 2, Administration of the City Code of Ordinances to amend Section 2-1, City Seal and City Logo, to update the authorized uses and prohibited uses relating to the city's logo, providing for penalties, providing for codification, severability, conflicts, and an effective date. This is also second reading.
Thank you. City Manager, any comments?
No comments on this item.
Okay. Is there anyone from the public that would care to comment on this item?
Dan Hers, 330 Southeast 19th Avenue. Hello, everyone. Welcome. In the ordinance, it reads as follows. Certain individuals and entities have utilized the city's seal and/or logo without the city's permission and in such a manner that is misleading and implies a city affiliation with or endorsement of the entity. In the name of transparency, the taxpayers have a right to know who is violating this. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else from the public? Anyone online? I'm going to close it to the public. Okay, Commission, City Manager, any comments regarding that?
Mayor, I really would rather not call any individuals out, but I could provide that information to the requester if they would like that after.
Okay. We have had incidents in which this essentially allows us to be able to protect ourselves from somebody. Let's say they go around saying they're doing a water testing and they're associated with the city of Deerfield Beach. They could take our logo, put it on there. It gives us a little more teeth to be able to prevent them from being able to do that and misrepresent themselves for what they're doing. So that's what this ordinance is basically about.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion from Commissioner Hudak, seconded by Commissioner Parnas. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay.
We're now at the public comment portion of tonight's meeting. Persons addressing the commission shall state his or her name and address and may speak for 3 minutes unless extended for 1 additional minute by the mayor. This is the time for public comment on items that are not on tonight's agenda. If you have public comment on an item that's on tonight's agenda, the time to do that is after the title is read into the record and the public comment period for that item is opened. No comment shall be made related to the personal life or personal qualities of any person, and no language which would offend persons of ordinary sensibility shall be permitted.
Hello, my name is Ryan Morgan. I'm the owner of Beach Rides USA. I live at Monaco Gardens here in Deerfield Beach, Florida. I presented in front of the commission on December the
Ryan, if you
13th.
don't mind giving your address, please.
Yes,
for the record.
Southeast 10th Street, 439 Monaco Gardens.
Thank you.
I presented in front of you on December 13th. This is my trophy for the best business entry in the Pioneer Day Parade this year, a parade we've been in for 10 years. So very proud of this accomplishment. I'm also very thankful all of my representatives that are here with the flowered liaison. Thank you, Beach Rides family. As I speak to you tonight, we are picking up people and bringing them to area restaurants as we do for the last 10 years. The last couple nights up to 100. I've been very, very busy with our shuttle service. There's a demand for it in our area, as I presented to you before. And I came here embracing the fact that the process was going to be a win-win for myself, Beach Rides USA, our service, and the new freebie, which once again, I want to make sure I state, I'm all for the new freebie, and anything I can do to help them, like I have said time and time again, I would like to do so. I think going to the districts 2, 3, and 4 and promoting their service needs to be a grassroots effort, and I would love to help them with their initiative. Having said that, what we do inside of our area with a shuttle service for those just outside of a comfortable walking distance, many elderly as well, is a direct connect with economic development, bringing people to area businesses. And it's been a quality of life for those who live around the area that want to enjoy those businesses with parking limitations, traffic, all the things that we know that we've discussed before. I'm upset with the way that I've been treated since December 13th, I'll be honest with you. I had such high hopes and expectations here. I was honored to be in front of you guys. I really was. I was waiting for this moment to happen when I started this company in 2014, when Gene Robb was the mayor. Since then, I've been through so much. I've been through the trials and tribulations of running a business that's free, going through a pandemic, restarting again with no sponsorship whatsoever, taking out an SBA loan because I believed in Deerfield Beach and I believed that this service was a need to the community. Since I spoke here on December 13th, and my expectations are so high that we be presented as a unified front with the freebie, I was neglected. I went through a process that the CRA made me go through with FAU to put together a business plan. A business plan, by the way, I gave on October the 23rd when I spoke to the CRA for the very first time. I thought this was going to be a request for proposal. That never happened. But I just let that go because I wanted to trust in the process, and I did not want to be against the freebie. I wanted to protect and preserve something that's a proven business model that I do day in and day out, 7 days a week. Since then, I was neglected. Nobody communicated me with whatsoever. There was a ribbon cutting on the shores of Deerfield Beach, a night that we're operating, transporting people. We had to reroute ourselves because the traffic was so bad because we used the beach road to launch.
Would you like another minute, Ryan?
Yes, I please. To launch the new freebie. I was never invited to be there. I've been doing this for 10 years. We could have been presented as a win-win to Deerfield Beach, a unified front. They're two different operations, but they have the same purpose. Instead, I was never reached out to. I was never invited to be there, and I had to do damage control. My St. Patrick's Day was ruined, and my name is Ryan Patrick Morgan, so that did not go very well. I had to do so much damage control for my business because we were flooded with calls that, are you guys going out of business? How come the city doesn't endorse you? And the worst of all, my title sponsor that keeps me alive called me, their advertising agency, and said, what are we sponsoring? I don't think our clients should sponsor you. You're not even endorsed by the city of Deerfield Beach. Who are you, some renegade? You guys, the public relations aspect of this and the way this has gone down has caused so much damage to me. And this business means a lot to this area. And I've given so much because I believed in you and I believe in
Thank you,
Deerfield
Ryan.
Beach.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
Hello, Paula Cook, 62 Centennial Court. I just wanted to speak about this Vision Zero for the, I believe it is traffic cameras that you obviously have decided to go with. And I was just wondering, this is an international organization. So what do we pay for this? Are there dues? Is there something that's going out? Are they just, is this organization just going to get a piece of the action from the tickets that they give out? And I'm a little interested in if they do these camera things to protect our due process, because when someone gets a ticket in the mail, a couple of weeks later, they don't even know where they were. You know, we're not business people. We don't have an agenda that we follow every day. So I'd like to know that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Daniel Shinesky, 34 Keswick B, Deerfield Beach, Florida, 33442, Century Village. I just want to bring out, it's the 50th anniversary, the 50th anniversary just passed last week of Century Village East here in Deerfield Beach. We had a ceremony. There was a dedication of the Master Management Building to the founder of Century Village, H.I. Levy. 1974, Century Village in Deerfield Beach was the second Century Village to go up. It's 800 acres. It's 8,500 units, 253 separate buildings, and in season, it's 17,000 residents live in Century Village. There are about 90,000 residents in Deerfield Beach, so that's a quarter of the population during full season reside in Century Village. I want to give kudos to Century Village for 50 great years. The great thing about Century Village is it's a microcosm of Deerfield Beach. Even though it's a 55 and older community, we have all different nationalities, all different religions, all different economic structures, and we all live side by side to make Deerfield Beach and the community the best it could be. So again, I want to give a shout out to Century Village on its 50th anniversary. I also want to say that at one time in doing research, there were actually 2 commissioners that lived in Century Village that were on the board in Deerfield Beach, Ben Budd and Joe Trachtenberg. Trachtenberg. So that's how influential Century Village was and will continue to be. Again, happy anniversary to Century Village, Deerfield Beach. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel.
Good evening. My name is Kevin Oberto, and I live at 110 Northeast 19th Avenue here in Deerfield Beach. I'm a retired police officer from New Jersey, and like most retirees, I moved to Florida to be in the warm weather, the sunshine, and the beaches. I chose Deerfield Beach because I have a brother who's lived here for 50+ years, and I used to vacation here all the time, and this is why I chose Deerfield. It's been a beautiful place. During my time here, I've become very familiar with Beach Rides USA. And as a former police officer, I realized early on that it has one big service that provides the residents and the visitors. That's keeping drunk drivers off the street. Recent statistics show that 13% of all fatal accidents are a result of drunk driving. That's 13,384 deaths a year, or 37 every day, 1 every 39 minutes. 26 of those fatalities are between the ages of 26% of those fatalities are between the ages of 25 and 34. The Florida Division of Tourism shows that the second highest group that vacations here are the same age. And as we all know, they vacation here to get out of the cold of the north, maybe to unwind from the pressures of work, family obligations, or just to enjoy the very reasons I've stated why I moved here. Maybe they're visiting family. Maybe they have snowbirds here and they're coming down for family gatherings or celebrations, whatever the reason. They're here to in what I call vacation mode. They go to the beach during the day, and on the way back, they may stop at a local establishment and refresh themselves with an adult beverage and plan their evening. They go out to dinner, and unfortunately, many of them may overindulge. What better way to ensure they get back home safely and economically than with the service of Beach Rides USA? And it has been providing that service for 10 years. Thousands of riders have used this service repeatedly. Just think how many intoxicated people have been kept off the road and out of the statistics sheets. So you can see that Beach Rides provides a very important service to the community, a way to go to and from local restaurants and attractions without getting behind the wheel of a car intoxicated and becoming an issue. I would ask and hope that the Deerfield Beach Commissioners correct this oversight and support Beach Rides USA. Beach Rides started in Deerfield Beach, has been committed to Deerfield Beach, and has become a part of Deerfield Beach. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Willie Rosetta Graham Bracy, 501 Northwest First Terrace. And I would like to know who should I contact. I have 4 letters came to my house. 1 of them certified, 2 of them in the mail. This one, I came back home Friday from the senior citizen place. It's on my door, all of them the same thing. And I think that is ridiculous. I do not like nobody going to my house pasting a paper like this on the outside of my front door where everybody can see it. It's embarrassing. It's a tool shed. That tool shed was in the back of the house for about 30-something years. My husband had it before I married him, and it's still there. And all of those trucks in our Wood home, business trucks, all kind of things pile up in people's yard. Why is they doing this? All of these folks, four of the same identical letters. This is ridiculous. The code people don't have nothing to do but go around and do this. And I lived there, he lived there since 71. And that tool shed is not in the front of the house, it's in the back of the house. And if I got a car parked in my yard, I got a tag on it and I got insurance on it. And all of that is on this letter. And it's ridiculous. And I really don't like it putting a notice on my door. Came back home 12 o'clock, I run home to get something. It's sticked on my door with blue tape on my door. And that is not right for somebody to go up in somebody's yard and do this.
Thank you.
My name is Billy William Paradise. I live on 2031 Southeast 5th Street. I am here to reiterate what Ryan passionately said, and I hope that you all take some time to reconsider his needs and what he's done for 10 years. I'm not here to bash freebies, but the city of Deerfield slapped him in the face hard. And you can tell that it hurt him bad. He's been here 10 years. He started the whole rideshare program and we all love it. We love the drivers and all the visitors. They enjoy it. It gives it that island feel, the beach feel. And so I hope you give out $300,000 per year for 3 years. That's $900,000 to a rideshare company that we already have. There's Uber and there's Lyft. There's buses that come and go. I don't understand. I really don't understand at all. Maybe you can find in your budget to get them a couple of vans, some gas, some insurance. The other company gets electric, cars, parking. They get the whole kit and caboodle. Ryan was overlooked 100%. It doesn't make sense to me. It's an insult to our community. I hope you take another look. The CRA, the city, it's all the same thing, and reconsider and just do the right thing, please. That's all I have to say.
Mayor, Commissioners, my name's James Bauman. I'm here with my wife Cindy. We're at Hillsborough Landings 1, that's 1631 Riverview Road, number 705. I figure you probably know, I'd like to use my time this evening to talk to you about beach rides. While Freebie looks like a solid company that can provide a good opportunity to Deerfield Beach for an expanded ride share to the western reaches of our city, we're concerned about the future of our existing and cherished local ride share beach rides. Since we moved here 5 years ago, we've utilized beach ride services many, many times. We appreciate both the convenience that they afford and most especially the safety that they provide. Once you've taken beach rides a few times, you've met all of their drivers and all of their drivers have met you. You're not just neighbors, you're also friends. And it's good to know that a friend is looking out for you, especially here at the beach and especially after the sun has gone down. For example, walking over the Hillsborough Bridge in the afternoon while hectic seems fairly safe. But returning home on foot after dark, and when many of the drivers may be charitably not at their best, is quite simply dangerous, and so especially so in inclement weather. To ride in a big, bright vehicle with people you know and people who know the roads so well provides a level of comfort and safety to rival some of our better resorts. And while I'm certain that no Deerfield Beach resident would ever consider driving their vehicle after one too many drinks, It's good that those individuals know that they can simply make the smart choice to take beach rides safely back home. A home which, if located in the Cove, I might add, may not be in Freebie's service area. As both Freebie and Beach Rides business models are quite similar, and with the obvious difference in company size, depth, and scope, we're worried that Beach Rides' future success, perhaps even their company's survival, may soon hinge upon choices that are available to you, our mayor, and our commissioners. We urge you to remember the important service that Beach Rides provides and has provided to Deerfield for the past 10 years, and to bolster your support of our neighbors, both those who run and those who utilize Beach Rides. Thank you for your time this evening.
My name is Christy Davis, and I live in Iron Wedge in Boca Raton. I'm also here to support Beach Rides. Well before Deerfield Beach decided it would support a new concept in Deerfield Beach with Freebie, we already had this type of free ride service in place for over 10 years. Beach Rides has been fulfilling the needs of both tourists and locals and doing a wonderful job since 2014. And they should also receive the same recognition and support from the city as Freebie is getting. Both supporting business is simply a win-win situation for Deerfield Beach, Freebie, and Beach Rides. By supporting big business and not our local business is damaging and unfair. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dan Hirsch, 330 Southeast 19th Avenue. I don't understand why our CRA and Economic Development Director is throwing the Greater Fort Lauderdale Alliance under the bus. In the February 13, 2024 official CRA meeting minutes, it says, and I quote, "In response to Mr. Hudak's question, Ms. Maury replied that the Greater Fort Lauderdale Alliance does not typically focus on retailers. I contacted an Alliance board member who told me the Alliance focuses on all businesses." The city attorney has a lot of explaining to do regarding the following partial official statement from the city of Deerfield Beach given to a blogger who is friends with the mayor. And I quote, "Class Act Restaurant Group has made no attempt to pay rent as it is required to do by statute. As you know, Class Act Restaurant Group LLC has continued to occupy the premises even though their lease with the city expired on October 27, 2023. The city has diligently pursued hearing dates from the court despite opposition from Class Act and is waiting to hear back from the court on a date that the hearing on the motions to determine rent will take place. Since when does the city comment on an ongoing lawsuit? Even the blogger wrote on February 21st that the situation is in Broward County Court and therefore the city will not comment to us as litigation is pending. Only 18 days later, an official statement is made by the city. I guess it is okay to talk only when the city attorney deems it necessary to disregard the truth and further defame the reputation and character of Tula Amana. And why do I say the city is lying? Look at your handout, commissioners. It clearly shows the city cashed Tula's rent check for November 2023. Tula's representative tried to pay the December 2023 rent at the City Hall cashier's window, just like they had been doing for the last 11 years, and the cashier would not accept the check. Does this sound like the city is telling the truth when it says Tula has made no attempt to pay rent as required by statute? What was the purpose of this official statement, Mr. City Attorney? Did you draft this official statement all by yourself, or did you have help? I'm glad the mayor is here tonight and is healthy. Many people were worried about him when he failed to show up at the Women's History Hall of Fame inductee breakfast, and no one from the city manager to the event organizers knew his whereabouts. The city manager thinks it was a brilliant negotiating strategy not to inform Marty Care's appraisal office that the beach parcel lot dimensions were incorrect. May I remind the city manager that an MAI appraisal had been done, providing a value of $830,000. May I have 30 more seconds?
So go ahead and complete your thought.
The city manager's failure to disclose the mistake to Marty Care's office deprived the taxpayers of Broward County and the city of Deerfield Beach of ad valorem property tax revenue. Thank you.
Thank you.
How you doing? Bob Matthews, Flanagan's 2041 Northeast Second. Bill, could you pay attention to me rather than writing the entire time everybody is
Is it
talking?
okay if I keep notes on what you're saying? Because that's what I like to do as opposed to just
All right.
watch you in the face. Is that all right?
Yeah. No,
Okay.
I would rather you look me in the eye.
Sure.
Beach Ride's been around for 10 years, doing exactly what you gave someone else $900,000 to do. They brought all kinds of people to all the local businesses in this area. And somehow they were not part of the business plan for this new venture that the city brought up. How is that even possible? How are they not even contacted? Todd, I mean, how? How were they not part of the plan when they've been in Deerfield Beach for 10 years? How is that I don't even understand it. They were not offered any money. They were not given anything to expand their business, to make it better for your city. How is that? How do you possibly tell me? How did you come up with the plan to give other people money, not from our city, to do a job that he's already doing? Do I get an answer or no? I mean, no? No answer?
We answer at the end, Bob.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I know it's your first time being here, so you're new to it. So we'll let you know at the end.
At the end.
At the end, when everybody's done talking.
All right. Well, I mean, you got a business that's been in this city for 10 years. That's done a tremendous job for all the local businesses. And you decided to give someone $900,000 to do the same business that aren't locals, are they? And most people don't have the guts to call you out. I don't care. I'm calling you out. Why would you give $900,000 to people that are not part of this city when you have someone in the city that's doing the job already? Anybody got an answer? I didn't think so.
Thank you. Anyone else? Thank you.
Good evening, Tula Amana, 5030 Southwest 109th Avenue, Davie. Today was the hearing in front of the court magistrate with City Manager David Santucci, City Attorney. I would like to know, how did Mr. Howard Levin, his Facebook page, knew the outcome of today's hearing, and he described it absolutely right and with a lot of detail. He actually knew in advance the entire outcome, and he had posted in Facebook about 2 weeks ago. So today, the magistrate that actually heard us, and was quite a few attorneys there, Judge Carla Cody, She determined that I owe the city of Deerfield Beach 68,000 a month for the past 5 months, so 360,000 roughly for rent, for holdover illegally. So I would like an explanation, how did Mr. Levy knew that Judge Bowman will not do any kind of the ruling such as this, and he would hand it to a magistrate. And afterwards, he even predicted that Judge Bowman, very, very clearly, he would actually rule to the favor of the magistrate for the 360,000 roughly, and I would end up in federal court, which I welcome. So we were kind of prepared. So I would like at this time to ask all the residents that whispered in my ear, all the employees of the city that said to me, we know what's going on. They have told me for a whole year and I didn't believe them. I now do. I believe you. We saw it happening. You all predicted it. You told me it was fixed. We have a lot of proof. We need to bring it forward. So I would like to ask you under the whistleblower federal laws to please come forward. I don't want to say who you are, but I would like you to do it on your own accord, just like you told me you would if it came this far. It is this far, and this is the time to step up. So Danielle Rossi was also in the meeting today. She did change the name of Deerfield Beach Cafe LLC to 202 Northeast 21st something. She used the address for the LLC very correctly as per the advice of her attorney, who told her that theft of a business and a name is really bad. As you all know, also, I'd like you to know that the person who drafted the lease in 2012 was then purchasing manager, which is today city manager David Santucci. He knew very well that I trusted the city then implicitly. I had no legal representation at any time, no legal representation at any time at all until this October, when I was informed that the chosen
Would you like to
30
finish your thought?
seconds.
Go right ahead. I'll give you another minute. Go ahead.
The chosen person of the ITN, who was Mr. Lou Moshakos, who has 75 successful restaurants, and that's why I thought I couldn't compete with him, ended up being the person instead that I was cautioned about, Ms. Danielle Rossi. Again, I would like you to do what you told me you would do and come forward and speak of all the evidence that you have for the wrongdoing. I thank you so much. And
Someone online? Ms. Clark Reed, go right ahead. Gwen, I think you're muted.
Gwen, yes, sorry. Gwen Clark Reed, 1430 Southwest 6th Way, Deerfield Beach. I'd like to know if there are cameras at the bus stops in the city of Deerfield Beach for the Broward County Transit. Recently, we have noticed at my church, the St. Mary's Episcopal Church, right there at 4th and Dixie, that someone is dumping. And I'm sure if there are cameras at these bus stops, there must be some way of us getting that footage and finding out who was doing that that dumping. I'd just like to know if that is a possibility. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else from the public online? Anybody else? Come on now.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Janice Fulmore Tigner. My address is 1090 Southwest 4th Terrace, Deerfield Beach, Florida. Born and raised here, 60 plus years. And I just want to give a thanks, a great thanks, and a load of appreciation to the city of Deerfield for inducting me into the 2024 City of Deerfield Beach Women's Hall of Fame. It was an awesome event. I knew I had love, I knew I had support, but I didn't know it was that much. And so I'm just forever grateful, forever thankful. And I pray that God continues to bless our city, that we continue to hear our community, hear our people, listen to them, investigate to find out whatever they're asking or speaking on, and coming back to them with information. And again, I thank you all.
Thank you.
Blessings.
Is there anyone else? Yes, sir. Come on up.
Mayor, Commissioners, Madam, how are you? Good evening. My name is Peter
sorry.
Oberto. I live at 1923 Northeast Sixth Street in Deerfield Beach. That's on the island. I'm here today for beach rides. You've heard all the arguments you need to hear. I personally think that this opportunity has been given to you guys, right? Laid in your lap. In other words, when you brought freebies in here, you already had a business there. The coordination could be simply, you could get it together. I'm a little disappointed that nothing's been done, nothing's been tried, nothing's been talked about. Mr. Hudak, it seems to me that this is an opportunity for the city to have a wonderful transportation situation taken care of. So I hope that perhaps you'll do something about that now. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Anyone else? Anyone online? Okay, we're going to close it to the public then. Thank you. A couple of things. First off, I don't know what blogger you're talking about that I'm friends with. I think that's a ridiculous statement and it's, as usual, inaccurate, but so I'm not sure exactly what that's about. And yes, my whereabouts for the Women's History breakfast, I'm glad you finally got to attend one of them. I don't get to attend too many of those because it usually coincides with a longstanding family obligation that I have. So, but thank you for your concern because I can see it's very sincere. First off, when it comes to beach rides, let's just be very clear. We're very supportive of beach rides. They came to us, Freebie did, with a proposal and a business plan and a business model that was completely different, similar in some ways, but completely different. For someone to say that they don't understand how, we already have Uber and Lyft and they don't understand how this has worked, I don't know what you don't get. This is a free service that we're offering to every resident in the city of Deerfield Beach to go for their home to certain locations. So it is different than Uber and Lyft in that it is free and that it can be picked up, and it's different from beach rides and the fact that you can be picked up anywhere in the city of Deerfield Beach and taken to the CRA. And it is a pilot program to see if it's going to work, to see if it can do the things that it says it can do. But it's a very robust business model that's there and very different. They do things that beach rides can't do, but beach rides does things that they can't do. And that's where we thought the designation was going to be. And we talked about it at that meeting in which we were talking about going with, and I seen some people seem to be confusing that. I know there's frustration in the fact that you guys are supporting beach rides and, you're trying not to say you're against Freebie, but then your words kind of contradict that a bit. So I can understand the frustration. I'm glad you guys support it because yes, beach rides have been here for 10 years. But I will say this, they've never once come to us with a business proposal that says, hey, let's partner together. Let's do this. And this is what I need in order to continue on the service. Not once. As a matter of fact, when Freebie had approached us and came up with their business model, when Ryan did come forward, and you know this, that you came forward, we kind of directed you and had to steer you how to even create a business. But no, if you want to do it this way, I told you I was going to meet with you. You got to speak, I'm going to speak. Okay. Yes, your business plan was give me $85,000 so I can get one extra truck. Excuse me, I have it. It's a one-sheeter. I'm not going to argue with you. Excuse me. Ryan, I've seen your business plan that you sent in. Okay, I've seen what you sent in. Okay, it doesn't. And I told you at the time. I told you at the time that the budget had already passed at that point. The next year's budget, let's get together and talk about it. We're not even close to the budget time to talk about this. Yes, I did. Okay. Well, we're not in budget time to do that. We budgeted for Freebie and we had discussions about it. If you've been out of shape because you weren't a part of that, I'm sorry. But there is room for both of you. And we've said that from the very beginning. Excuse me, this is not a back and forth. I told you, I asked you to set up, we're trying to set up a meeting where you and I could talk. No. Excuse me. Ryan, this isn't going to work. I don't know how you would think we would ever want to partner with you. This is the kind of relationship it's going to be. If this is the way it's going to be, how do you think it's ever going to work? Because it makes no sense. You got to speak. I'm going to get to speak. Okay. Thank you. Because I didn't interrupt you. All right. Your business plan doesn't match up. You fill gaps that this group cannot fill. There is room for both of you. But for you to come forward with the business plan that you did give us, that I've seen, that I've reviewed, it is nowhere near where it would need to be to fill that gap. It doesn't make sense. So that's something we can work through. We are fully supportive of you guys. We don't want to take away anything from Beach Rides to do that. But this service fills a gap in our city that you don't, and you can't. Okay? You can't. So this isn't them versus you. It's you bitter that you never came up with an idea to come to the city and say, hey guys, 10 years here, I would like to partner with you, and here's what I need to really boost it. No, he didn't have to, but now he suddenly does. And we're not going to do this back and forth, ma'am. Excuse me.
Mayor, I'm sorry. Guys, it's the last warning. Please, no more interruptions or disruption of this public event.
You want to play this out in public, Ryan? We can. But I can tell you right now, if there was an RFP, your business model in comparison, not even close. Not even close. So there is room for you, and there's room to work with you and to be able to do things without a doubt. Because like I said, you fill a need, and you've been filling a need great on your own for a long time, but you never once came to us and said, hey, I can expand and do better with this if you guys partner up. They came to us with a business model that was hard to ignore. You didn't do that. You came in after the fact, and now you're sitting here going, well, hey, I feel like I've been left out in the cold. This is not the time for it right now. This is a pilot program that we're trying to work through to see if it works. There are gaps that you're going to be able to fill. This is not to replace you in any way, shape, or form. The kind of support you want from us, I think could probably be achievable. But going about it the way you are makes no sense to me. So I don't know what else, as far as anybody else, as far as how we answer questions, what we do and going to people outside. When a business model is brought forward for the city that we think is going to benefit the city, we're going to make that decision. If someone comes forward, we got a Pure restaurant that we're leasing out right now. We don't go to your restaurant and say, hey, by the way, you need a new stove. Would you like us to put a new stove so you can do more business for our residents in Deerfield? It doesn't work that way. This is a completely different comprehensive model, and I encourage all of you to check it out and find out what it is, because I think if you do, you will understand where the differences are, and you'll understand the impact that this is going to have on Deerfield Beach. And quite frankly, as a pioneer in what you're doing here, while you might not line up exactly what they're doing, there is absolutely space for you. I don't know where you think there isn't, because that is absolutely the case. And when I saw you, and it was a public ribbon cutting that everyone was invited to, though some people say that they weren't allowed to get close to it. That's untrue. You were there. We shook hands and said hi and greeted each other. You didn't say to me, hey, Bill, let's circle back around. Let's talk about that business. You didn't say anything. You just said hi. You said, well, I hope it works out. And you walked away. To me, if you're a businessman, you talk about being a man and looking someone in the eye, that's what you do it right there. Excuse me. No, I'm not personally. I'm making my point to Bob because he liked to say I wasn't looking someone in the eye.
That's unacceptable. I should have been there presenting.
Thank you. Thank you, Ryan. I'm glad you think that was the case, but that's not the case. Okay. Sorry that you think that happened. I'm sorry that you think that happened. Okay. That was not the intent. Certainly not the intent. I think you're doing more damage to your company right now in what you're doing. So let's try to amend that, and let's try to work together in the future, because I think there's an opportunity to do that. Let me go back through my notes to make sure I got everybody else covered. Code enforcement does go about with putting notifications when there is an issue with code enforcement. So you will get notifications. Sometimes I'm not quite sure about posting it on the door, but I think it depends on the level in which it's risen to. I'll let the city attorney talk about the lawsuit and the pending action that's there. I think that covers everything else. I don't know about Broward County Transit having cameras at the bus stations, but I don't think they do. But we can look into that. But I know the buses, I think, have cameras, so I'm not sure if that will accomplish the same goal. And I think there's a big confusion between what Vision Zero, which is really a methodology and how we go about having zero accident fatalities in an area, and what Vision Zero is, and with this proposal that has been talked about for putting in cameras for speeders in school zones. So I think they're very different, extremely different. And when we move forward with that, that's going to be a full presentation for the public so you guys can participate and be a part of it to understand. So I think that answers all of the questions. I think so. And Ms. Tigner, congratulations, well deserved. Okay. Commissioner Preston, you want to say something?
Yes, I do. Whenever we have a meeting like this, and when there is opposition, it's how we handle it and how we deal with it. Mr. Matthews, the mayors and the commission are not gutless. There was a procedure, and he told you what that was at the end, which he did. He answered your question. There's a right way to approach any type of situation, and we always approach it with the idea that we will get something done. If we are upset about something, we would hope that at the end of discussion and some measure of dialogue, that it's not worse. And so with that, Mr. Morgan, you and I did talk. You said that none of us talked. You and I did. And we talked about, you did say that you wasn't against freebie. And I said to you that its scope of services was expanded. And you acknowledged that. But I do believe, sir, that there was a missed opportunity. The missed opportunity, in fact, you were here for 10 years. And if there is a business of which the city is going to adjoin itself with, it would have been the right thing for us to look at it and say, okay, is there, what similarities are these businesses? And being that the city is going to be attached with it, and have that conversation with you to see if services are duplicated. How can you do what you do and match what this other company is proposing, or how might it be different? That conversation should have taken place. But I want to just say to you, nobody here that I know of in terms of personality and character maliciously wanted to push beach rides out of that conversation. I think there was an oversight, something that should have happened, because you were here before freebie came in. But freebie services is different. There are so much more of the city residents in the entire city can be served by that service. But how can we know what you do and see how you can also be integrated into that frame? And so there's, as the mayor said, there's dialogue that needs to be done here, not hostility. Because if we do that, if we leave with hostility, we haven't solved anything. All that we've done is screamed at each other, and we go home and everybody calls everybody a jerk. And at the end, what was accomplished? And it's nothing. Out of these meetings, something should be accomplished. And it should be you being incorporated into the city, continuously serving as you are at a higher level. That means that there has to be conversation, and it has to be done civilly. I don't want to talk for the mayor. I don't want to talk for anybody up here, but certainly they deserve the respect, and they're not gutless. We're people who try to solve problems, and guess what? If we don't have the answer, we owe you, the public, the opportunity for us to research and find those answers for you. We don't want a 10-year business person to go away. There's no way. You've been serving a business, and you've been giving service to the city of Deerfield Beach, where all of these people here in support agrees with you. Who in their right mind would want that to go away? But there's a right way to do things. There's a right way to do things. So I think that what we all need to do is take a deep breath, everybody relax, get calm, and then see where you can set up a meeting. See where you can set up a meeting and then talk about it and make it better. My hope would be, because Freebie does offer a wide range of service, and that vision came, from people here. The mayor thought that would be something big for the city. I think it will be, but I don't want you to go away because I think you serve a function as well. And so how might you be integrated deserves conversation. And so if I'm you, and I don't want to be just tell you what to do, but it'll be time to call the city manager and set up for a meeting. Talk about it. How can we, because I'm telling you right now, as I sit here, I don't want to see a 10-year business person go away. You've done good. And if you had not done good, if you were not a good business person, all these people wouldn't be here. Okay. And the other side of that, sir, is that you feel a little put out. You feel that you were, but you also have to respect dialogue as well. I think we can get there. I think we can get there, but it's going to take a little work. Okay. All right.
Next.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, I wasn't really planning on commenting on the hearing that happened today. The city did prevail on all three motions, but since Amana got up and spoke about it, what I'll say is this, in terms of this check that was presented, in these cases, the city has to put their position in writing and the defendant has to put their position in writing. So you can review from our pleadings that the city disagreed with Ms. Amana's position about how much rent was owed under the circumstances, and never thought that 13,000 or whatever this check says was sufficient. And we're pleased that the court agreed with us today. And so that's all I'm going to say about it.
Thank you.
We're now on consent, items 7 through.
I'm going to pause for 2 minutes to give
Sure.
anybody who wants to leave, because I know there's a lot of people here for one reason. If you guys want to leave, we can. We'll reconvene at 8:07. Thanks for coming
Mr.
out.
Mayor.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Mr. Thanks for that.
That's very nice. Sir. Thank you again.
David, are you going to remove? Okay.
We got 1 more minute. We've got 30 more seconds. Well, 45 seconds, Billy. We'll give you 45 seconds.
Okay.
All right, let's reconvene.
Okay, items 7 through 11 are currently on consent.
Okay, is there anyone that would care to comment on items? Is it 7, 8, 9, and 10?
And 11.
And 11. Okay, 7, 8, 9, 10, or
Oh,
11.
I'm sorry. My apologies. It's 7 through 10, Mayor. You were correct.
All right, 7, 8, 9, or 10. Does anybody like to comment on 7, 8, 9, or 10? Anyone online? Anyone in the audience? I'm going to close it to the public then, commission.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I think it was a tie. Tie goes to the runner, and I don't think Commissioner Parnas
One of us is running. Who's the
Oh,
runner?
I'll say who I think might be fastest. So Commissioner Parnas, you get the motion. Second goes to Commissioner Preston.
Ouch. Ouch.
Okay. Can we please have roll call?
Commissioner Hudak,
Yes.
Commissioner Parnas,
Yes.
Commissioner Preston,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Drosky,
Yes.
Mayor Gantz.
Yes.
Item number 11 is an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Deerfield Beach, Florida, amending Chapter 66, Traffic and Vehicles, Sections 66 through 88, parking restrictions for Cove parking lot penalty of the City Code of Ordinances to expand the existing 2-hour continuous parking restriction for the Cove Shopping Center parking lot to include Sundays, providing for conflict, severability, codification, and an effective date. This is first reading.
Okay.
Mayor, you want me to introduce this?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Thank you. Item number 11 is an item before the city commission, but was presented first to the CRA board. And this relates to the parking restrictions in the Cove parking lot. It was discussed at a previous CRA meeting, the hours of the Cove and the days to inquire if the city should extend the hours beyond 6 p.m., which the restriction currently is for perimeter parking, 2-hour perimeter parking within the Cove parking area. And then also should this be extended to Sunday. After researching, inquiring, and surveying businesses within the Cove, they were generally in favor of the Sunday restriction, but not extending the 2-hour parking limit beyond 6 p.m. So this item is before you as a result of those conversations at the CRA board meeting.
Okay. Commissioner Hudak?
I just want to say, I want to thank you for being proactive and getting the businesses involved. We've heard, that the city just does things without getting input from the individuals who are directly affected by it. So I really appreciate that we went ahead and went above and beyond to make sure that the businesses that are affected by this had their input before we put something in place. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Drosky?
Thank you, Mayor. This is extremely timely, this particular item, and maybe we should reconsider the 6 p.m. deadline going forward. But as it stands for today, this is absolutely super critical. We had businesses this past Sunday in the Cove whose patrons could not access them because the number of beachgoers that were utilizing the free parking to go over the bridge to the beach. I was contacted by several businesses in the Cove this very past weekend. One business in particular, the patrons could not get to their business, could not park, took 20 minutes to park, that the patrons put negative comments onto whatever rating system that they get. Their rating actually decreased because of people going to the beach because their patrons could not reach them. They had a 5-star rating, which went down this Sunday because their patrons could not get to them. This situation is getting more and more dire and not better. And so I am in full favor of this, I think, but this is only a starting point because we're going to lose businesses for free beach parking in the Cove.
Thank you. Commissioner Preston?
I appreciate the comments from both my colleagues, and this is true. It's the business people that we have to protect. It's important. They keep the city moving in so many ways. So the consideration to this situation as it relates to the business community should be implemented.
Thank you. Look, the 2-hour parking, our ability to enforce that is obviously very difficult. We can't do it without doing this. Now, yes, there's people, is it a fix all for everything? Of course not. It's kind of silly that I've seen some of the commentary that says, oh, well, it's not going to solve all the problems. Of course it's not. This is a first step in the right direction in order to do that. There's a suggestion that we should utilize, There's a suggestion that we should utilize Sullivan Park for the employees to park over there. I think that's a terrible idea because it takes away the use of Sullivan Park for the residents that want to go over there and bring their kids. So what you're essentially selling them is try to go find parking over in the Cove and then cross the street with your children who want to utilize that park, or go under the bridge, which would be the safer way to do it, but they might not do that. So, and plus we do have limitations, and what can we, using that particular lot, certain parking spaces are only for special events. Is that correct? Due to our agreement with FDOT?
That's correct, Mayor.
Right. So we have limitations over there. This is a step in the right direction, what we need to do. I'm going to encourage the city as we move forward and as we get away from the existing agreement that's in place, is to revisit some of the agreements that were rejected, but we're heading in the right direction with the business owners at the time, with suggestions on how we handle employee parking in the future and how we can work that out. Because I think I know I had worked with several of the businesses at the time to come up with some ideas on how we can have something in place for their employees that made sense and help solve some of the problem. So I'm supportive of this. Okay, anyone from the public on this item?
Daniel Shinesky, 34 Keswick B, Deerfield Beach, 33442. I'm definitely in favor of this parking restriction. The bottom line is it'll create turnover and spaces near the business. And the more people that enjoy the businesses, it's better for everyone involved. We also want to bring out, and I think it was mentioned, that there is unregulated parking spots in the vacant property next to the Cove Restaurant that people could use. So I think this is very important. It gives an opportunity for everyone to enjoy the beach and the Cove parking area. So I'm in support of this.
Thank you. Anyone else? Online? Close it to the public? Oh, yes, go right ahead, Mr.
You turning to me?
No.
Okay.
Janice Fulmore Tigner, 1090 Southwest 4th Terrace, Deerfield Beach, Florida. I was just curious, is there any space that there's a possibility? I know we have 2 parking garages already, but is there space for parking garage on the beach? Or is that not allowable? Like, bit in front of the beach area, like where they have the main beach parking area and that parking space where the meters are. Is there a possibility maybe that's a fix somewhere on the beach? Just a question.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Close it to the public. I think the problem with the key part of this, when it comes to the Cove, is that it's free parking right now. So that just people would rather go free than pay for parking meters anywhere, even if it was a little bit closer. So I think that's one of the biggest problems that we have. I would say that we're probably the only municipality in probably the tri-state area, the tri-county area, that actually has a municipal parking lot that is owned by the city, that is that close to the intercoastal and the beach, that is free. They don't exist. It's a unicorn at this time.
Motion to approve.
Wait, I wanted to say something, if I may, Mike.
Go right ahead.
This is not just the boon for the shops. It's good for the public. I visit the Cove often and know how difficult it can be to park. This will help open up parking, so that if I want to go to dinner at Patricio's or go for a beer at Tipperary, I have a shot at getting a parking space. Because of the 2-hour move it along, it frees up spaces, not only helps the business, but it also helps the patrons. And it's for that reason I'm in full support of this.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Can we have roll call, please?
Commissioner Hudak,
We do have a second, correct?
Yes, I second
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Commissioner Parnas,
Yes.
Commissioner Preston,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Drosky,
Yes.
Mayor Gantz.
Yes.
We're now at comments by administration legal. No comments from legal tonight.
Thank you.
Just one this evening, Mayor and Commissioners. Just want to remind you that we did not do our Friday lunch briefing just this past Friday, as it was Good Friday, and I'm sure many of you had other other engagements. So we did move that to this Friday, and that should be on your calendar. Of course, invite you to attend. We'll be talking mainly about Pioneer Grove redevelopment and catalytic projects, and giving you guys some examples of how other cities has sparked redevelopment areas in their downtown areas. So I look forward to having that conversation with you. That's all I have this evening.
Okay, we are on now on city commission business. Item 12 is discussion regarding establishing an expense allowance for the mayor and city commissioners.
It's been removed, I believe, David.
Would you like to table this item, Commissioner Parnas?
Yes, so that I could be there since it's my item. I'm asking for a postponement till the next meeting.
Okay,
Approve.
Just move to defer it to the next meeting.
we'll defer it to the next meeting. All right. Okay.
Okay, we are now at comments by mayor and city commission.
All right. District 4.
Thank you, Mayor. I have only two items tonight. Both were related to this past Saturday. It's been talked about briefly already, but we did have the 2024 Women's History Hall of Fame inductee breakfast. And we had Carolyn McNamara, Annette Mitchell, Janice Fulmore-Tigner, obviously, Peggy Noland, and Amy K. Tanner, all extremely worthy recipients. And so it was a great time. Some of the inductees, I'm not sure, needed to know they needed to make comments or a speech, but they all did fabulous in their remarks. In fact, it was probably more heartfelt, the comments that they did make, because it came from the bottom of their heart and showed the appreciation. But more importantly, we appreciate them for everything that they've done for our city. So thank you to all of them, and to the great breakfast for the Women's Club and for city staff for putting that on. I said at the meeting, it doesn't put itself on. So it takes a lot of work behind the scenes to make that happen. Secondly, and right after that breakfast, Commissioner Preston and I had the opportunity to attend the grand opening of Penn Pediatrics. I don't know if this is on your talking list or not, Commissioner.
It is.
So I'll be brief and I'll let you talk more about it. But I mean, it's one of it may be the only child pediatric emergency care center that we have in the entire city, which I did not know. And so there is definitely a need that they are filling. It is a beautiful facility that they have. You know, all the rooms are catered to children. So I think we welcome them with open arms to the city of Deerfield Beach, because there's definitely a need going forward. So last Saturday was certainly a busy day before Easter, but it was a good productive day. So I want to thank everyone that was involved with that as well. And that's all that I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. Okay, District 3.
Okay, you know that I am much in support of everybody voting. I don't care who you want to vote for, what you want to vote for, but your ability and your obligation to vote is one of the freedoms that separates us from other people, from other countries, from other cultures. The Supreme Court ruled that the women have rights. At least we're going to vote on it in November. The over 1 million signatures they collected to get it on the ballot, and it's going to be on the ballot in November. And however you vote, you're for it, you're against it, but voice your opinion. These people voiced theirs, and they took a lot of work to get something on the ballot. There's also another item on the ballot which I won't go into. But it's important that all of us participate, whatever your feelings are, whatever your religious beliefs are, or not. But in this country, we vote, and the winner gets the most votes. And that becomes, in this case, part of the Florida Constitution. So be in mind, check your voter registration. We do that. I have an organization of volunteers who have the right forms to make sure your signature is correct, that you haven't been accidentally or deliberately, whatever, removed from the voter rolls. If you want to vote by mail, you now have to fill out this form every year. It's postage free. So you can see me anytime, and to get some, I always have some in my car. And I will be going out now. We're going to be pushing during the renovation of City Hall. We only have 8,000 all year round voters in Century Village. And we're going to do our best to check all of their registrations to make sure they're eligible to vote however they want to. That's all I have.
Thank you. District 2.
Thank you, Mayor. There will be a District 2 district meeting on Thursday, the 4th, 7 p.m. at the Hillsborough Technology Center. And to reiterate some of the comments of my colleague, the Women's Hall of Fame was incredible. And with that, I would like to thank staff for that event. It was well done. Katie Freitag was the mistress of ceremony, and she did a great job. Fantastic job. But staff did a good job. I'm asking the city manager to convey that to staff, please, and let them know the job that they did, and that was appreciated. You see, a lot of the time when we have these events, what the participants remember is how they were treated. It's not so much you being recognized, but was it a nice event? Your family is there. The way they are acknowledged, the way you're talked to matters. It doesn't matter so much because it's just a few days ago. It matters 5 years from now. They remember it as something that was good for their family. And I think there was a great job initiated with the event, put on with this event. So it deserves A+ rating. My colleague was right. Commissioner, you and I was over there. Commissioner Drosky and I went to Penn Pediatric. It is the only pediatric urgent care in the city. And there's not many of them. I checked in Broward County. There might be another one. So we have something here in the city of Deerfield Beach that is big. And they have such a nice setup over there. Pediatric urgent care. And so, my colleague and I welcomed them, as a new business into the city. And it was exciting. There was, the office was just done nice. They just did a very nice job setting that up. And I'm glad that they chose the city of Deerfield Beach to start their business. Pediatric urgent care, we now have that in the city. We've expanded our scope of service that we deliver to our residents. It's a good job. That's it for me, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. District 1.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Again, yes, the Women's Hall of Fame, tremendous job. The ambiance, with Milton Mustafa on the saxophone playing the whole time with,
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Katie did a great job as maitre d'. But the one thing that I would really like us to look at, and I had mentioned this last year and nothing has really happened with it. I'd love the previous winners to be presented with something that they could wear year round, whether it's a brooch, whether it's some kind of a hat, something that identifies them, not only in attendance at that meeting, because there were so many of them there that you forget who were past winners and who we need to make sure that we nominate going, in the future. But I think this is something that it's a badge of honor, that we need to be able to show our appreciation to them, not just, on a Saturday morning, but something that they could wear at other city events to, so that they can kind of toot their own horn, that they are Women of the Year and we can recognize them. And I think that's something that I'd like to see the city design. It would be greatly appreciative. I had a great meeting with the original Save Our Beachers last week. Myself and Chris Morey were there, and we talked about a lot of things. And one of the things I want to, first of all, just to make a shout out to is I appreciate them reaching out, and we probably had 50, 55 people in the room. And as opposed to listening to Facebook and taking that as gospel, they reached out and we were able to have a great dialogue back and forth on some of the misnomers that have been, posted on Facebook. As the late Ronnie James Dio used to say, tell a little truth with many lies, and that's the way to get things done. And that is as far from the truth as you can be. So I'm very glad, very appreciative that those residents actually took the time to meet with me so that we could actually have a dialogue and get some truth out there. One of the things they asked me to say was, and I'm agreement with, is first of all, Ms. Tigner, we're not allowed to put a parking garage over the main beach parking lot. It's in the city charter. And that's something that I am not in favor of at this time. So I told them that I would mention that, and I've mentioned it. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, yesterday was April 1st, and sadly, it is the only day of the year in which the public seems to question anything they read on social media. It should be a year-round thing. Yeah, nonsense online, and it is a shame that I missed the and I did talk to my nominee afterwards, because if you look at the calendar, I did not RSVP to the event, and I maybe should have made that clear to maybe Ms. Freitag, who I did not know she was being a what'd you call it? She was a maitre d'. I would have loved to seen Katie be a maitre d' for that event. I'm so sorry I missed that, but to all the nominees, congratulations. And it's an event I've only been to, I think, once in the past couple of years, because it doesn't line up with something, but glad to see the people are obsessed with my presence. It's nice to be missed. I do want to thank city staff for a lot of the information that they did. And with some of the backup that we have for this meeting tonight. I also, and I only talked briefly about it, but I want to thank city staff and our city attorneys, our city attorney and their team for what they're doing with some of these lawsuits that we're dealing with. I won't go into details, but I just want to thank them for their hard work and dedication on that. It is important, in my opinion, when people challenge our integrity, that we stand up for ourselves, and we take that to the nth degree. It is amazing how some people want to play this out in public and use an independent person to constantly post things and ask questions regarding it. And then they seem bristled at the fact that somebody else asks a question that has, we're definitely not friends. So I don't know where that comes up, but I appreciate the fact that staff is doing a great job to stand up for the integrity of the city commission and our staff and the work that they do. So thank you so much for that. I look forward to having all the facts displayed out in court, and looking forward to some people, as I said before, eating crow. I think that is all that I have. One thing I do want to reiterate, one other thing. We talked, Vision Zero is something we put out, information we put out. That is a movement to try to eliminate, as I said briefly, it's a movement to eliminate traffic fatalities, to bring it down to 0 fatalities in our area. It is not an organization that makes money. It's a nonprofit movement, really is what it is. In a different way of thinking, there seems to be some, maybe it's only one person, but they seem to be confusing this model that we have moving forward, which will be discussed, which is the lights that, or the cameras that will go up in the school zones that will go after speeders. And I look forward to having all that aired out. I just want to remind staff that we want to make sure we move forward with that. I think that's all that I have for tonight.
Motion to adjourn?
Thank you.
Second,
Motion from Commissioner Preston, second by Commissioner Parnas. All in favor, say aye.
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 Meeting adjourned.